Hello, everyone. Welcome to our brand new episode. Today, we have amazing and charming Miss Nikita Dalwani on the show. See, she is the co founder and creative director of DNY Hospitality. Hi, Nikita. Welcome you to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for an amazing introduction. Thank you.
So, Nikita, tell me something. When I was going through your profile, there was something very, very amazing and different that caught my attention, which is your interest
Mhm.
in astronomy and astrophysics. And from astronomy and astrophysics, how all the way to hospitality? I mean, they are two entirely different things.
Absolutely. So the journey was pretty good when it started with astronomy, astrophysics, because my whole motto since the childhood had always been into astrophysics, learning stars, galaxies, dark hole. So I was more inclined to that universe, to be honest. But when I came back to Mumbai from Pune, I was actually in Pune before. So we already had a running business in food, F&B, chain of QSR outlets, basically. So when I came here, I just got into business one fine day with just entering in marketing, and from there it was just a journey of each day learning kind of a thing. And I mean, here I am. It just got me revamped in a single night, you can say.
So, it was never on your cards.
It was never planned, to be honest.
Okay, so now you have been handling this business for such a long time. So, can I ask you something like what was better, that part, the astronomy and astrophysics, or this part? And why?
Art, where every day people helping them out. Now growing the team as well, where so many people trusting, and I see that in their eyes. With that kind of a respect, for a consultant to start this something business of their own towards the profitability. And when I see that trust in their eyes, I think this is what I always needed. This is what I always preferred more than anything else. So even that part was good enough when I was into astronomy. Had a few projects that I did also for Ayuka, Inter-University Center for Astronomy Astrophysics. Back then, it was more of a research-oriented job, research-oriented things. But the same thing, I think I use my analytical mind and the research background over in this business also, which has also helped me a lot.
Hmm. Right, right. So tell us something more about your venture, DNY Hospitality.
See, when we started this, it was simply with a chain of outlets with a shorter vision. I would say 5 outlets, 10 outlets. And back then we were like, okay, I think we are owners of 10 different branches of Walk 123. I mean, we are so happy with that. Later, when we realized, okay, I think we need to rework on our passion first. Maybe the vision is a little smaller at that time, 10 years back. So when I witnessed so many people want to start business, but there is this market gap where there's nobody helping them do the right way.
Right.
We ourselves failed and learned. In that process, we thought that I think 80% of the industry is facing that problem. And we just guided them throughout. And I think what DNY does currently today is 90% different from how it started before. So with a chain of outlet to now running a consulting business is totally two different sides of one single coin. So that's how it has changed for me.
Okay, tell us something more. Like being having no formal education in marketing, no formal education in hospitality. How did you overcome the
Hmm.
challenges of this industry? Because somehow this is the conditioning of the people of our country. Like if you want to become a manager, you need to do MBA. If you want to become an architect, you have to do something in that. So how come you manage all the things without any formal education?
I think that's a very good question. I mean, I've never been asked this, to be very honest. But I think mostly it was all about the curiosity that I have in different things I meet, see on a daily basis. So even though my education is in physics, I was always curious about the business of entrepreneurship. entrepreneurship. I was curious about learning. What do they get up and do it in the end of the day? How do they streamline their flow? Plus, when we had our own business of Walk 123, the QSR, I used to just go in the kitchen and stand for hours, just see what the chef is doing. I mean, be an active part there. I realized, I mean, the industry is so grounded, the industry is so open, that the professionalism was lacking somewhere. It is so very rustic, I would say. So I thought that why not do something good where the reporting structures are clear, there is technology used, the recipes are standardized. I mean, I just see on ground and I feel that, okay, it's just a little bit on an old school or a layman type where people just prepare for the sake of it or not automate anything. So over the period of time, I realized with my curiosity that I have this niche and I can help this industry. That's how it began.
Wonderful. So, having a curiosity about anything, it is something that most of us lack. Like, I've seen people who are doing something since ages and they never wanted to do that. So, landing to something that was your passion and that you relate to, not many people are, lucky, so much lucky, I would say. Like in my case, I never thought of being a trainer and a coach. But when I ultimately started doing this, I was like, I always felt that I was made for this. I'm a born trainer, I'm a born coach. So I can completely
Wow, that's nice.
resonate with that. Yeah. So tell me one more thing. You see common sense as a guiding principle. Throw some more light on that.
I think, yes, I totally believe in that common sense as a guiding principle. Mm, People, study MBA and then realize, okay, I think ये marketing में ये stunt काम नहीं किया. But you do not know whether the common sense, the content that you're putting up is not working. I mean, the users are not attracted to that word, maybe. That's how it begins. I mean, there are impactful words you can always have in the content. So that's why I feel like doing an MBA versus guiding your life through common sense. If that has to be rated, this will always be on our hand. See,
I
my whole core
completely
is into
agree. Yeah.
yes, my whole core is into actually human psychology study. So when I study human beings, it's all common sense. Like, for example, right now, this conversation, I am enjoying it because the kind of questions you ask, it is coming from a senior consultant and a senior trainer. So that's how I study. And I mean, I feel that this is common sense.
Yeah, but I've also seen that common sense is not very common. I've seen so many people who lack the basic common sense, and you feel, oh my God, you never thought of this. How come
Yeah.
you don't know this? I mean, this is so common. But still, there are people who actually use their common sense and they bring outstanding
Correct.
results. That's
Correct.
wonderful.
That's true.
Yeah. So tell me one more thing. Over 9+ years, like working in this industry, what do you think, how can a person build a brand? Like, because in a consulting, that too in hospitality, there are a good number of chain of restaurants and so many things, and eating out has become a trend, I would say. There
Yeah.
are food vloggers who are doing food vlogging. So what are the
Mhm.
things you consider when it comes to building a brand for a restaurant chain?
Okay. I think again a very thoughtful question, I would say, because when there is unorganized players, which is the 80% of the Indian market, then there are streamlined players, say 20% of the market. And when you see the market share distributed between the both, major chunk is taken up by the unorganized players.
Right.
So this is my target. This is my exact target. Wherein revamping them to a brand, it's everything, it's from the customer's mindset to how it is perceived, to how the brand is functioning on a day-to-day basis. What are the challenges the brand is facing? Are staff wearing uniforms or not? What are the equipments being used? Are we making life easy for a customer or not? So these are the little things that maybe brands don't think or local outlets do not think, and which separates them from being a brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree. I have seen so many business grow because of this mindset. When they exactly understand the pains and challenges of customers, what do they need? What is their desire? See, any business runs on two basic principles. One is you are addressing the pain points of the customer. Second is you are fulfilling the burning desire of the customer. So if you
Correct.
satisfy any one of these, your business is bound to grow. But tapping on that exact thing is not everybody's cup of tea. So, can you share any such instance when some brand was struggling with that, and how did you help them with it?
Correct. Absolutely, I can, because I believe the same thing. Whenever you see a brand, if you can solve a story, if you can solve a problem, it will always be the brand. It will always be a business. Plus, uh, you know, making life easy is another business opportunity. Anything you do, like even right now, you're doing training, you're doing consulting, you are making my life easy. You're making somebody's life easy by diverting the thoughts, maybe aligning the thoughts the right way. So I think yes, but when it comes to your question, honestly speaking, I would say yes. Uh, you're right on those lines.
Okay, so you talked about human psychology, like you try to read the people's psychology. So, how do you use that psychology point of view while designing the dining experience for the people?
Correct, correct. So it is to do with the perception, I would say. If I'm the user, I come dine out with a family of four. Okay, I know what my kid wants, and if I really get that in that restaurant, I would come again. Um, if I have to think about my price points and my spending capacity, the brand has to know what I spend when I go out, right? As a team,
Absolutely.
as a family. If my wife is insisting me or my husband is insisting me to go to a particular restaurant, it's not just about the food. You feel belonged. Like brands have those to call a customer back with human psychology, and it's not just food, it's not just experience, it's the vibe as well. Feeling of belongingness is there. So if the brand matches all the parameters, you win the human. That's psychology, correct? And if something is placed in my plate, and that plate, I have the exact fork and the knife with the exact feeling in my hand, I would love to dine in there. There's the smallest of the understanding that, oh, the fork is quite good in my hands to hold. So many things are there, smallest to largest.
Absolutely. And when you said that word vibe, I couldn't agree more. Vibes
Hmm.
match. And when your vibes match with people, then they feel more comfortable. And
Correct.
when you were saying that, I was imagining about all the restaurants where I have visited, and they had that vibe that I was looking for. So I always prefer going to the same places again and again. And it's not that their food quality is the best in the town, but they have something which is, grabbing my attention time and again. I always feel like going there. So it truly works. And reading the person's psychology is something which is very, very important, and very less people focus on that. So you have highlighted a
Yeah,
very important point.
absolutely. I think that's the only difference between brand and a non-brand. People think who about human, they are more customer friendly, customer approachable. They think they have every decision, even in here in my case, even if there's yellow lights here, that impacts my mind. It
Mhm.
makes me work in a positive direction every day. There are plants kept here, so that's psychology.
Right.
So since you asked me about failure story as well, yeah, that was one of the brands in Dadar in Mumbai on a station road serving Japanese katsu sandwiches for 400 rupees on a station road. I mean, as a positioning does not match, right?
Hmm.
So when we went to the brand, we tried and analyzed what's the problem in their sales not picking up. We realized that he was doing everything better, just that the product line and the pricing did not suit that market.
Hmm.
That was one of the failure story we converted to positive. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Because, positioning is extremely important. So we have so many basic examples where we can see positioning, like stationery shops outside the, schools. Then you have a stationery
Mm-hmm.
shop who has a different colored tiffins and, water bottles. These are the basic examples that are in front of our eyes. Then, outside the restaurant, the panwala. This is another example of a very good positioning.
Correct.
So this
Correct.
positioning entirely, it matters a lot. But in the times when the things are going online and people can
Mm.
order food online, do you think that the taste and quality of food also matters a lot now than earlier? Because somebody, if I have four options of ordering online, I won't think of the vibe or the ambience or anything. I would focus on high quality and lower cost, and I'll order the food.
Correct. No, but after COVID, after the pandemic, basically, the whole psychology online has changed as well. Hygiene is the first preference for everybody that's ordering. Obviously, price points have still not changed. There is a lot of preference towards price points. But you know what? I think brands themselves have realized to the core that how important hygiene is. So, out of when you compare previous and right now, I think there is a shift of 30% brands who have who have really taken actions towards their hygiene. So online only you won't find any options who are a little unhygienic, basically. So
Hmm.
that's the move of the whole industry has moved in that direction.
True, true.
That's one of the
Yeah. And COVID-19 has exactly emphasized on that. I still remember earlier we hardly used sanitizers. And whenever we used to
yeah,
go to restaurant, there was no culture like before eating food, you are going to wash your hands in restaurants. Like at home, we do it,
absolutely.
but not in the restaurants. And COVID-19 has emphasized this so much that now we carry sanitizers. The restaurants are keeping it on the table. They have fresh napkins to wash, to clean your hands before you eat. So many things have changed post pandemic. So there is one
Correct.
thing
That's right.
I,
In fact,
yeah,
many clients who,
yes, yes,
sorry,
please go
so
ahead.
many of our clients before just doing a dine-in business,
Hmm.
now their 40% sale comes from online after the pandemic. So
Hmm.
there is a transition even in the user psychology to order this rather than going out. So
Hmm.
a lot of things have changed after that.
Right. Somehow I feel that, the people have long working hours after COVID.
Hmm.
This has also
Yeah,
changed because before COVID, it was strictly 9 to 6 kind of thing. If people used to work, they used to work in the offices. Now, because of work from home, the working hours also have changed. They have increased.
correct.
So it has become more convenient to rather than to, go and eat outside because in that case, you need to get ready and everything. But if you have to eat at home, you can eat at the comfort of your home and you can order anything to everything that you like.
Correct, correct. I think
Okay.
I believe that as well.
Yeah. Tell me one more thing. You have also mentioned that keeping your eyes and ear open to the opportunity is very, very important. So throw some light on that. Like, what do you exactly mean by that, and how did it help you in your business?
It surely helped. I mean, this is the main reason for my growth actually. Whenever I see an opportunity, even if I'm not ready for that, I want to go for it and learn on the way. For example, if I was, we were not doing any international projects before, I think 4 years back, and it was like quite competitive for us. I mean, entering in Dubai market, how would we do it? What are the campaigns we can run? How we can reach the Dubai market? This was all in our minds. Okay.
Hmm.
Suddenly we found an opportunity. One of the brands came to us. They wanted to work with us, even though we did not have a bandwidth to cater that brand to that level. I just said that, you know what, let's just do it. We'll
Hmm.
figure out on our way. So it may actually get a chance with the brand. We hire people, okay, on. So I think yes, whenever the opportunities come to you, don't hesitate. Just go for it. Figure things out on the way. It'll really be helpful.
Yes, and I have seen many people missing up the opportunities because they are not that vigilant. So this is one quality every business owner must have. You should be vigilant, you should keep your eyes and ears open, and you should go and read the market trends as well, because nowadays
Correct.
market is so dynamic that there are so many changes happening every now and then. So you definitely
Hmm.
need to keep your eyes and ear open. I completely agree with it.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, so tell me one more thing. Like, I primarily work with women business entrepreneurs who have been, handling their families, so many things. Because no matter how advanced we are, how
Hmm.
much we talk about gender equality or whatever, still the primary responsibility of family lies on us. So have you ever
Yeah.
faced any challenge regarding that, or how do you cope up your family life, your work-life balance, and everything?
I was actually always into family since the start. I hardly have friends who can associate with me, like say two to three friends, but majorly into family segment. We were always dining out, going out, and traveling. So since the childhood, my whole upbringing is that way. So whenever I go home, I just go end up in the gym every day. When I come back, I want that me time with my mom, my dad, and my brother. And that's it. I mean, I think it gives me that peace also.
Hmm.
That has to be one of the key reasons, because if I did not find peace, I would have been always on my laptop working and in the late night hours also. So I don't do that basically.
Right. And I think nobody should do that. Your family is
Hmm.
equally important. And your family, like you just said, it gives you peace. Yes, it is a very, very important break from your own work, from all the stress, competition, and so many things that most of the entrepreneurs we face. So it is something
Hmm.
that gives you the inner peace, and you feel at ease when you are with your family.
Absolutely. And that counts also. If you work smartly, you don't need to spend long working hours even at home, opening your laptop and researching actually. If you work smart, delegate, understand the power of delegation, train your team, motivate your team. I think half the battle is won there. And then you give your time to your family, your priorities, your life. That's
Yes,
how it
and
is.
you just said delegate the work to your team. This is one art that every business owner must have. Other than that, I've seen many business owners who don't focus on building their team much. There are many reasons to it, but what do you think? How important is team building and choosing the right people in your team is for any business?
Yes, team is everything actually. If you become more team oriented, business will come to you. Don't be business oriented, be team oriented, and it will just follow you. That's exactly follow this. I think right hiring, the kind of understanding, mental understanding between the two people, as I said, vibe is everything.
Hmm.
If you don't get that vibe, even if you have the slightest of 2% of doubt on somebody, please test him, do a proper background check, then work with him. So it's not that you won't make mistakes in hiring, you will, but learn from your mistakes the next time, I would say. So note those points out. Right hiring is extremely important, but also focusing on team, the growth of the team is important. Like, for example, if you have a team of 30 right now and you keep a target of 75 by the year end, make sure you have the team growth targets in place. Don't focus much on the revenue targets. Obviously, every company has that revenue target, but focus on more on the team growth and their personal growth. So the business will come to you.
Yes, absolutely. And when you focus on your team growth, your business growth is definitely going to happen. Because if business is dependent on your team, who will work for your
Hmm.
business if you don't have people to work for you? Because,
Correct. That's
I
right.
have seen business owners handling everything themselves, especially when it comes to the primary responsibilities. They need
Hmm.
to find right people, they need to delegate the work. If they don't trust people, they have to start building trust by delegating small things that doesn't have a big harm to their business. So if there is any task that is not going to harm their revenue, harm their reputation, start with smaller things. Later on, give it to the bigger things. But your team is extremely important for the success for your business. No entrepreneur,
Correct.
no business can ever survive without a team.
Correct. Even trusting the team is so important.
Yeah.
Like, so if they are not good at particular job today, but you see that spark in them, you see that passion in them, invest time in such people, just train them. The moment you see passion, just invest your time. Because later, they will become your wall, they will become your shoulder. You
Hmm.
won't realize this has happened with me million times. And I always prefer uh, hiring somebody who's better at passion rather than being better at his job at the knowledge level. So that's how I segregate my hiring also.
Yes, and this is something very, very important, you know. I have seen people who have experience, who have skills, but they don't have passion. And the person who is not ambitious enough to work is not going to bring you the results you are looking for. No matter how much experience they have, no matter how much skills they have, they are not going to work. And a person with passion, it can do anything. Like we have the example, you are the example here in front of all of us. You never had those skills, but you had a passion to bring difference to people. So you did
That's
it.
correct.
Yeah. So there are so many people whom we can look up to. So, Nikita, this brings me to the end of today's podcast. What
Oh,
is
thank
one
you.
message you would like to give to our audience that they can take with them?
I think be fearless. Being fearless, trusting in yourself, even though you're not ready for anything, you have that in you. Trust yourself, be fearless, and I think the world is yours. That's it.
Yeah, that's a wonderful message indeed. The person who trusts himself or herself can do and achieve whatever they want in life. So, with this, this is Ishleen Kaur signing off. Thank you so much for taking out time and be watching us.
Thank you.